Ever feel like your setbacks are actually holding you back? Well, today I'm going to teach you guys exactly how you can make the greatest comeback of your life, especially when it comes to setbacks, plateaus, injuries, or burnouts. So, let's dive into it. For those of you who don't know, my name is Rick Goodman. I'm the creator of Vexick Fitness, and I'm here to create a strong society through creating strong individuals. Now, if that interests you, then make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more great content such as this coming up to you in the future. Let's dive right into it. Now, when it comes to training, there's a lot of different things that could happen. Maybe you've been on a good streak so far and you've been making really great progress. Maybe you just hit new PRs with bench, squat, or deadlift. Maybe you just did a new move in Muay Thai, karate, or any other martial arts that you might be interested in. Maybe you've hit longer miles. Maybe you've been in the sauna longer. Maybe you've done Maybe you've done longer time periods with swimming, or any number of things. But then all of a sudden that fateful event happens where you hit a setback. In my case, we'll use one that's happened to not just me but to two other of my friends, and it's an injury such as this. Now, in my case, I broke the tip of my middle finger. What had happened was, to clarify to everybody, I was benching with my friend using dumbbells. I wasn't paying attention, and I was benching about 65 pounds, and I didn't realize that the weights that he had were set right under me. And so when I set it down, I just happened to slam it down this time, and my finger got crushed in between the dumbbells, and it broke the very tip of my finger. I didn't even realize I'd broken it. It turned out that I not only broke it, but it was a compound fracture. It went straight through. I also had the nail torn from the skin a little bit, and it was bleeding quite a bit, and they had to bandage it. It was going to be about 2 months before I could go back to training with free weights, and about 2 weeks later, or a week and a half later, I went to talk to my doctor. He recommended me to a hand specialist, and he said, yeah, you're going to have full range of motion and gripping power with your hand again, but you're going to need to train it, so that way you can make sure that you don't injure it again and that it gets back to full strength, but that I should make a full recovery. What I did in the meantime was my friend Sebastian, my coach as well, he's the one who's training us with powerlifting, which is what my focus mainly is right now as of January 2025. He decided that, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to use the machines and we're going to go lightweight, lot of reps. So we went back to my original weight training regimen, but just with weights this time, where we just did lightweight, lot of reps, made sure that we kept the volume and the weight at a good weight, so that way I wouldn't be hitting any PRs, but at the time I could still at the very least be making some progress or maintaining what I've already had and maybe not diminish anything by too long, because 2 months off from the gym is quite a long time, and you can end up losing a lot of muscle mass, strength, or endurance in that time. So, I kept up with walking. I took the first week off. I kept up with walking. I had gotten a different splint so that I can have more range of motion. I couldn't even move my finger past this part at first because my finger was so stiff from the splint that I had. But after a while, I was able to regain my full grip. And even now, there's still a little bit of pressure. My nail's gonna fall off. But so far, I was able to keep up with it because I didn't allow myself to get defeated by it. It was very disheartening. I ended up getting fired from my job, which, that's a whole different thing because of the fact that I couldn't grab anything. I wasn't able to grip onto anything. Disability insurance still hasn't come through, so I was running out of money, and I was getting very, very much disheartened during this time. But I realized that the struggles that we have are meant to be there because they are what allow us to be stronger. Nature's way of strengthening us up is through struggle, and no matter how nice or privileged of a life you might have had, you're going to struggle at some point. The struggle of regret, the struggle of defeat, the struggle of pain, the struggle of failure, the struggle of success. Any number of things could happen. And, we need to stop. I think a lot of people, we need to stop demonizing people for having struggles in their lives, but then also realize that just because somebody else has harder problems than you doesn't mean that yours aren't valid to begin with. You also need to realize that somebody might have worse problems and that yours may not be as bad in comparison. Not that you should compare yourself to people, but it should make you realize that things could be a lot worse than they currently are. I might have broken my finger, but at least I didn't lose it. At least I still have full range of motion. And it was such a small injury, but it was so detrimental to a lot of things because I'm also right-handed and this is my right hand. I wasn't able to write for a little bit. I wasn't able to drive for about a week and a half. And even at that, it still took another 2 or 3 weeks for me to be able to fully grab onto the stick shift because I have a stick shift car. That's the main reason why. And I couldn't weight lift, so I couldn't power lift the same way. I had to use machines that don't add the same level of strain because you're not balancing it. This is my personal story, but that being said, something is going to come up. Your life is always going to have some type of struggle to it. This is my story of how I broke my finger. My friend Dominic, who's also into powerlifting with me, broke his finger, and my friend John also broke his finger, which is funny because I broke my middle finger, Dominic broke his ring finger, and John broke his pinky. And John broke his first, Dominic broke his second, I broke mine recently, the most recent. And all of us are, holding each other accountable. It's a great way to ensure that you get back to it when you hit a plateau or a setback or an injury when training, because you're now able to, you have somebody else to hold you accountable, and you're able to get back into it due to the fact that they're holding you accountable. That's one of the best ways that you can, make sure that you're keeping up with any type of gym plateau or setback. You not only need to keep yourself accountable, but it's a lot easier when you have other people to hold you accountable. The second setback is plateaus. So a plateau that a lot of people might have, especially when it comes to weight training, is that you might get to a certain level and it seems like you keep going all of a sudden, usually with newbie gains, and then you just kind of plateau. In my case, it was the fact that I got a huge increase in my bench. I went from benching only about 165 or 185 for a couple of reps at the most to benching 245 in less than a year of training. And actually I had jumped from 185 or 195 all the way up to 225 in only the first 3 months of proper training with powerlifting, also because I started eating a lot. And I'm a naturally skinny person, but I also just don't really eat that much to begin with. It was just part of the reason why I'm naturally skinny. I bulked up a lot. I bulked up a lot due to the fact that I started eating way more in a caloric surplus. But if it wasn't for that, then I would have been stuck where I was. And I've recently gotten to the plateau where I almost got 255 and I just couldn't quite get it back up. But then a couple weeks later was when I injured my finger, and that sent me back a couple of months. But I was able to maintain progress by, as best as I could, doing push-ups, as best as I can working my shoulders and triceps, and as best as I can working my arms and chest. Now, when it came to this specific plateau, what I had been doing was I realized that my old training regimen wasn't working. You might have to switch it up. You might just simply have to go harder, or you might just have to, ironically, take a break, because sometimes you might overtrain and then you might have a setback then of plateauing due to the fact that you're getting diminishing returns. You can only push so far until you need to take a break or rest. So that's one of the key things I would say when it comes to a plateau, is that you need to train harder. You need, obviously, but you might also have to rest, and you might have to switch up your training, because sometimes a lot of training does not work for all the same types of people. This is just what worked for me, and it's worked for my friend Sebastian and my friend Dominic, because we're following a specific routine. A lot of different types of people can do different types of training. There's no one size fits all when it comes to physical fitness or training. This is just my method in order to get to the results that I've gotten to so far. And that's what I like to teach you guys. The last thing is that when it comes to a setback, plateau, or injury, or burnout, the thing is, when it comes to all of this, you might just have to take a break and to reset yourself mentally and sometimes even physically, and see exactly where you might have messed up. In my case, it was originally me not tracking my actual workouts. Now I like to record my workouts so that I can see exactly how I'm doing. I like to put down notes of my PRs, have a Google Sheets set up so that I can change each of my workouts as well. And you should take it easy on yourself. It's gonna sound kind of soft, gonna sound kind of cliche, but you shouldn't push yourself so hard that you end up injuring yourself on purpose. And when you do injure yourself or you do get sick, take the time off. I know that we like to very much rush things a lot in society. You know, we try to get the strongest we can, the richest we can, the fastest the strongest we can, the best looking we can, the richest we can, accelerate in our job as much as we can. But you need to realize that everybody is going at their own pace. It is good to go fast. You want to take action and keep going consistently. But if you burn yourself out, you're just going to set yourself back, usually by not really wanting to do the things that you know you have to do. You know, start out at a small area that you know you can do, and over time it will compound into bigger and bigger things so that you can eventually get to a point where you're building yourself up at an exponential rate. You know, like I said, was not able to bench more than 185 for a long time, and then all of a sudden I went to 225, then 235, then 245, and I've hit kind of a plateau in between 245 and 255. But I like to think of it in the sense of how we have to have a warrior-like resilience to ourselves, especially when it comes to martial arts or strength training, because the both are very much intertwined. But when it comes to specifically martial arts, and like how I had sprained my ankle, you know, years ago, I had set myself back a lot further by constantly trying to walk around on it, by constantly trying to get back to where I originally was instead of taking the time off, because I thought I would just diminish all my progress. It's okay to rest. It is okay. In fact, resting is actually more important than just purely training all the time. If you train all the time, you're going to burn yourself out. You need to rest. And then you need to be able to bounce back like nobody's business. You need to be able to roll with the punches. And, you know, once the world beats you down, you can lay there for a second and rest. You can sit there and take it when the world tries to beat you down. You can lay on the ground, curl into a ball, or die, or you can get back up like you know you need to and get back into the fight when you are fully recovered. When you finally do that, you will have the resilience and the strength to make the greatest comeback of your life, and we will all be there to see it. Okay? It should be spectacular. Like right now, this is what I'm dealing with, along with disability insurance, and looking for a job right now. But right now here, I will personally declare to myself that I will make the greatest comeback of my life, and I will make sure to get it back to you guys when I truly get to that point. You know, I'm already in the gym again. I've already started, hitting weights. I'm going a little bit lighter than I was before because I'm trying to get my body used to balance again. But so far, it's been going really good. And, I'd like to hear from all of you guys and see what stories you guys have on the subject and how you've made your greatest comebacks ever. So if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more great content such as this. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.